Hi, I'm Grace.
And I'm Kendall.
And we're
Adventuring
Adventuring Lakeland.
Actually, we're adventuring the Annie Pfeiffer Chapel over at Florida Southern College. We're going to give you a little bit of a brief history about Florida Southern and some weird and haunting stuff. So, Florida Southern has lived through location changes and name changes over the years, and it is beloved by past students and current students. Everybody has something good to say about Florida Southern. And it's known for its Frank Lloyd Wright architecture. It originated in 1883 as the Southern Florida Institute in Orlando. Then they moved to Leesburg and Sutherland, and after a devastating fire, the college moved to Clearwater. In 1922, Florida Southern College got its current name and location here in Lakeland, Florida.
So Alvin Spivey was the son of Lud Spivey, who was the president of Florida Southern from 1925 to 1957. Alan Spivey spent much of his 7 years of life running around the campus of Florida Southern. In April of 1932, Alan was bitten by a rabid dog. 29 days later, 29 days, poor Alan succumbed to complications from the rabies. As we didn't have any real way to save people from rabies back then, there wasn't much they could do. So it was just brutal. After Alan's passing, his father built the Alan Spivey Hall, which was the women's dormitory at the time, and I believe it still is, honestly. He also had a large bronze memorial urn commissioned, which was originally placed in the garden between Alan Spivey's Hall and the Joseph Reynolds Hall. It's been moved several times in the years since 1956 when it was completed. Now it's in the archives. And while that urn never held any ashes, it is said that you can hear laughter around it. Many students have said that they hear what sounds like a child bouncing a ball in the attic and down the halls of his namesake dormitory. Have any of you ever encountered poor Alan? Or anything else creepy here? I want to know what you think and what you've experienced. Another story about Alan is one resident reported waking up around 3 o'clock in the morning, feeling like she couldn't breathe. She looked around and saw that it looked as though someone was sitting on top of her blankets, which were also on top of her, so that, yeah. That's rough.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah. So when she got over the initial panic, she screamed at the top of her lungs, "Alan, knock it off. I don't want to play." And suddenly the shadows went back to normal and the weight was lifted off her chest. Yep. And she could breathe again.
It wasn't even a co-ed dorm.
No.
Rude.
Right.
Weird.
He's like, "I'm 7. I can just get on your bed."
7-year-olds.
Yeah.
And that brings us to why we're here at the Annie Pfeiffer Chapel. It is said that you can hear moans and groans in the chapel. People believe that it is Frank Lloyd Wright himself. And why would he be so upset after all this time? Well, the choir screen is hung incorrectly. But, go home, Frank. Everything's fine. We got this, okay? We don't need to moan and groan over the school choir screen.
For a lot of years.
For a lot of years. And if you want some more really cool firsthand experience stories about Florida Southern, there's this cool book at the library. It's called Fact and Fancy at Florida Southern College, and it's written by Charles T. Thrift Jr. He was the president of the school after Spivey, and it's got all kinds of stories from students who went here years ago, and some are funny, some are heartfelt, some are just plain weird, like this one.
So Mr. Wright wanted the oxidized look of copper. So they found that the most efficient way to do this was to use a mixture of 2 parts urine, a 1/4 part salt, and a 1/2 part muriatic acid. So that means any oxidized copper that you see anywhere around here, like that plaque, for instance, it was painted with urine.
So just think your well-hydrated pupils.
Yep, it was the workers' urine, and the students painted it on.
Okay, so maybe, yeah.
Vine that likes to grab and grow on things.